But Michael wasn't the reason. He didn't beat us in the championship. He did not beat us, man. We was on his ass. He didn't.
Shawn Kemp built his name on force. Not the kind that comes from weight room numbers or empty bravado, but the kind that shows up when the game rises to another temperature. When Seattle needed momentum, he delivered it in a single leap. When opponents thought they had the rim protected, he turned the play into a highlight that lived beyond the scoreboard. His career became proof that pure explosiveness could shift the energy of an entire arena. 6 All-Star selections, 3 All-NBA honors. A central pillar of the Supersonics' identity during the years when the Western Conference felt like a battlefield every single night. Kemp earned respect because he never asked for an easier matchup. He wanted the challenge. He welcomed the tension. And he played with the conviction that every possession was a chance to redefine what a power forward could be. People remember the dunks, the posters, the in-traffic detonations. But the part that mattered most to Kemp was something different. He studied opponents. He paid attention to who played fair and who cut corners. He noticed who showed up, ready to compete, and who only wanted the spotlight. What shaped him were not just the big moments that made the crowd erupt, but the battles that forced him to upgrade his footwork, his strength, his patience, and his discipline. There is a reason why players from the Golden Era still speak about facing Kemp with a kind of guarded admiration. He brought emotional pressure to the court. He changed the pace of the game without saying a word. He competed with a standard that pushed others to respond in kind. And now, at his age, Kemp looks back at the names that defined his climb. Not rivals he disliked, but rivals he respected. Players who demanded everything from him. Players who sharpened him in ways the highlight reels never fully captured. Today, we count down the 5 opponents who earned Shawn Kemp's deepest respect. Shawn Kemp did not enter the league with the polish of a seasoned college star. He arrived young, raw, explosive, and ready to prove that athletic force could be shaped into something far more dangerous than potential. His path from Indiana to Trinity Valley and then straight into the NBA became an early preview of his identity. He never waited for permission to grow. He simply pushed forward. Seattle saw it before the rest of the league. The lift, the second jump, the fearlessness when attacking through contact. Kemp became the emotional engine of the Supersonics because he did not need a play drawn for him to change a game. A block, a rebound outside his area, or one violent finish at the rim could flip the momentum instantly. Fans called it energy. Opponents called it pressure. Behind the power was a mentality shaped by respect. Kemp valued opponents who showed up with professionalism. He appreciated players who competed without shortcuts. He paid attention to those who carried themselves with purpose. And every time he faced someone who represented that standard, he viewed it as an opportunity to elevate his own approach. Throughout the 90s, the Western Conference demanded growth from him. Every matchup brought a new style to solve, a new body to absorb, a new level of detail to master. Those experiences created his list. Not a list of rivals he disliked, but a list of men whose presence forced him to sharpen every edge of his game. And now we break down the 5 names that earned his respect. Number 5 is Charles Barkley. The matchup felt different the moment the ball went up because Barkley never treated any possession as casual. He played with a conviction that demanded a response. Kemp felt it every time they collided in the paint. Barkley was not the tallest forward in the league, yet he controlled space in a way that frustrated bigger defenders. His lower body strength gave him leverage in the post. His quick first step created angles that few power forwards could anticipate. And his ability to rebound outside his area forced his opponents to stay locked in for every shot attempt. What Kemp respected most was the honesty in Barkley's game. Barkley competed with full force but without shortcuts. If he hit you, he expected you to hit back. If you scored on him, he wanted you to do it again. There was no pretending, no hiding behind schemes. He wanted the fight in the open. Kemp valued that because it aligned with how he viewed basketball. True competition had to be earned, possession by possession. The early 90s created some of the most intense battles between Phoenix and Seattle. Barkley attacked the rim with power. Kemp answered with vertical dominance. Barkley used timing and body control. Kemp responded with speed and anticipation. Every meeting turned into a test of who could impose their style longer. Kemp admitted in later years that Barkley forced him to study the details of positioning more seriously. The contact with Barkley was not random. It was calculated and precise. If Kemp lost 1 inch, Barkley took a mile. One game in particular stood out to him. During a regular season meeting, Barkley scored on 3 straight possessions using 3 different moves: a spin, a power drive, a face-up jumper over the contest. Kemp walked back to the bench knowing he had been outplayed in that stretch. Not embarrassed, outplayed, and that moment pushed him to add new layers to his defensive approach. Barkley sharpened him because Barkley demanded solutions. Beyond the physical battle, Kemp admired Barkley's leadership presence. Barkley held his teammates accountable. He communicated clearly. He made it obvious that effort was the minimum requirement. Kemp watched that closely and carried the lesson into his own role in Seattle. Matching Barkley meant understanding the mental battle as much as the physical one. Charles Barkley earned a place on this list because he represented everything Kemp respected in an opponent: toughness, honesty, competitive pride, and an ability to raise the level of everyone around him. Their clashes helped shape Kemp into a more complete player. Number 4 is Karl Malone. Every forward in the 90s understood what it meant to face him. Malone brought a level of physical preparation that separated him from the rest of the league. He played through contact without losing balance. He absorbed hits without changing his expression. And he attacked possessions with a consistency that made every mistake feel costly. Kemp respected Malone because the challenge was never hidden. Malone made it clear from the opening tip that you needed real discipline to stay in the game with him. Utah's system magnified Malone's strengths. The screens were solid, the spacing was deliberate, and Malone used every part of that structure to create scoring windows. Kemp learned quickly that guarding Malone was not only about strength, but also timing and anticipation. If you arrived a fraction late, Malone punished the mistake. If you hesitated on a contest, he rose into a confident mid-range jumper. And if you relaxed on a box-out, he took the rebound as if it belonged to him from the start. Kemp valued that level of professionalism. Malone showed up ready for war every night. He conditioned his body to withstand long seasons. He prepared mentally for every rotation and counter. Kemp watched that and understood that talent alone was not enough. The best players in the league lived in the details. They built advantages before the game even started. Malone embodied that idea more than almost anyone in his era. One matchup stayed with Kemp for years. During a late-season meeting, Malone repeatedly used a simple action to test him: a high post catch, one hard dribble, and a forceful finish. Kemp defended it well at times, yet Malone kept coming. No frustration, no panic. Just pressure applied in the same exact manner until it produced results. Kemp realized then that Malone's power came not just from strength, but from an unwavering commitment to the same fundamental habits. That gave Kemp a new appreciation for repetition and discipline. There was also respect for Malone's ability to lead. He communicated clearly with teammates. He expected focus. He demanded effort. And he held himself to the same standard. Kemp admired how Malone carried responsibility without needing to broadcast it. That attitude shaped the tone of every Utah game. Karl Malone earned his position on this list because he represented durability, preparation, and mental steadiness at an elite level. Facing him pushed Kemp to train harder, think sharper, and compete with a deeper sense of purpose. Number 3 is Hakeem Olajuwon. For Kemp, facing Hakeem never felt like a standard matchup. It felt like entering a problem that kept changing shape with every possession. Hakeem controlled the paint with intelligence. He blocked shots not through reckless jumping, but through anticipation. He positioned his body to eliminate angles, and he countered attacks before they fully formed. Kemp respected Hakeem because he made every offensive choice feel like a test of judgment. The first thing that stood out was footwork. Hakeem moved with balance and clarity. He shifted from one stance to another with almost no wasted motion. When Kemp drove, Hakeem reacted without reaching. When Kemp elevated, Hakeem adjusted without panic. That level of composure forced Kemp to think more deeply about when to explode and when to hold back. Hakeem punished predictable moves. Kemp needed creativity just to get clean attempts at the rim. Defensively, Kemp felt something rare. Hakeem defended with presence. You could sense him even without contact. His timing disrupted rhythm. His pump fake reads were flawless. And his ability to go from contesting a shot to controlling the rebound made possessions feel shorter than usual. Kemp realized quickly that scoring on Hakeem required purpose. There was no easy layup, no free path to the rim. Every point had weight. Their battles also revealed the strategic side of Hakeem's game. Against Seattle, Hakeem studied tendencies. He understood Kemp's second jump. He anticipated his transition lanes. He adapted to every adjustment Seattle made. Kemp admired that because it showed a different kind of dominance, not just physical, not just emotional, but intellectual. One moment stayed anchored in Kemp's memory. Early in his career, he attacked Hakeem 3 consecutive times, expecting to impose athleticism. Hakeem blocked the first attempt clean, altered the second without touching the ball, and forced a turnover on the third by reading the spin before Kemp even started it. Kemp walked away from that sequence understanding something important. Greatness is not always loud. Sometimes it is the quiet ability to remove your best weapon from the game. What Kemp appreciated most was respect. Hakeem competed with full commitment, but without disrespect. He played clean. He responded to contact with control. He communicated through the game itself rather than through theatrics. For Kemp, that reflected maturity. Hakeem Olajuwon earned this position on the list because he represented mastery, skill, intelligence, defensive clarity, and the rare ability to elevate opponents by forcing them to expand their game. Facing him made Kemp sharper, more patient, and far more aware of the deeper rhythms of basketball. Number 2 is Scottie Pippen. Kemp faced elite defenders throughout his career, but Pippen presented a different kind of challenge. He was a wing who defended like a big man, yet moved with the speed of a guard. He slid into passing lanes with perfect timing. He covered ground with long, fluid steps, and he forced opponents to think at a higher speed than they preferred. Kemp respected Pippen because he imposed defensive pressure without needing physical dominance. He did it through intelligence, anticipation, and relentless movement. Seattle felt that pressure during every meeting with Chicago, but the finals in 1996 made the experience unforgettable. Pippen's role in disrupting Seattle's offense changed the rhythm of the entire series. He shadowed drives. He stepped into help positions before the ball handler even committed. He turned simple entries into complicated decisions. For Kemp, every touch demanded clarity. If he hesitated, Pippen seized the advantage. If he attacked too predictably, Pippen rotated behind him for a strip or cut off the angle entirely. What Kemp admired most was Pippen's commitment to playing honest defense. No tricks, no flailing for whistles. He competed with technique. He used length effectively. He communicated at a high level, directing teammates into the right spots. Kemp noted that Pippen had the rare ability to guard multiple positions without losing impact. One possession, he could challenge a center at the rim. The next, he could track a point guard around a screen. That versatility forced Kemp to broaden his approach and avoid becoming one-dimensional. A sequence from Game 4 remained clear in Kemp's mind. During a crucial stretch, Seattle tried to free him with an early post action. Before the pass even arrived, Pippen slid across the lane and cut off the angle. The ball never reached Kemp. It was not the kind of play that appeared in highlights, yet it revealed how deeply Pippen understood timing. Kemp respected that level of awareness more than any athletic display. There was also the mental side. Pippen carried himself with a calm intensity that Kemp valued. He never rushed. He never let emotion dictate decisions. He stayed patient until the right moment appeared. Kemp believed that mindset created the foundation of Chicago's defensive identity. Facing Pippen forced him to think more strategically about spacing movement and tempo. Pippen did not overpower him. He outmaneuvered him. Scottie Pippen earned this position on the list because he represented the highest standard of two-way excellence. He proved that defense could control superstars and shape playoff series, and he taught Kemp that respect is often earned through discipline, consistency, and the ability to elevate an entire team with your presence. Number 1 is Gary Payton. For Kemp, no opponent shaped him more than the man who shared the same locker room. Before they became the signature duo of Seattle, they were two competitors who pushed each other harder than any rival could. Kemp respected Payton because every practice with him felt like a real game. Every drill carried tension. Every possession demanded focus. Payton brought a level of competitiveness that refused to let anyone stay comfortable. What made Payton different was his edge. He talked through every play. He challenged every mistake. He tested teammates by forcing them to respond with fire rather than excuses. Kemp saw that as leadership. Payton's voice set the temperature long before the opening tip. If the team lacked energy, he supplied it immediately. If the team lost discipline, he corrected it instantly. Kemp viewed those habits as essential. They showed that greatness was not something you switched on. It was a standard you carried at all times. Their battles in practice became legendary. Payton did not care if Kemp was his teammate. He attacked him the same way he attacked Hall of Fame guards. He pressured the ball. He jumped passing lanes. He pushed tempo. And he constantly demanded that Kemp stay locked in. What Kemp admired most was that Payton played with complete conviction. He wanted the matchup. He wanted the responsibility. He wanted the accountability that came with leading a franchise. One practice moment stayed with Kemp throughout his career. During a scrimmage, Kemp missed a rotation. Payton instantly called him out not to criticize, but to raise the standard. Kemp responded with a series of dominant possessions, a block, a rebound outside his area, a finish through contact. Payton nodded and said only one sentence. He told Kemp that this was the level required if he ever wanted to dominate the West. That challenge shaped him. It ignited something internal that he carried through the 90s. On the court, Payton's defense set the stage for everything Seattle did. His pressure created fast break opportunities. His instincts allowed the Supersonics to force turnovers and run. And his ability to get under the skin of star guards gave the team a psychological advantage. Kemp respected that because it matched his own approach. Silent power meeting vocal fire. The perfect balance. What truly placed Payton at the top of Kemp's list was the understanding that respect is earned through accountability. Payton held himself and others to a relentless competitive standard. He expected effort. He demanded improvement. And he inspired a team to believe that toughness was a choice made every trip down the court. Gary Payton earns this #1 position because he sharpened Kemp more than any opponent could. He turned potential into production. He turned intensity into identity. And he became the rival inside the gym who forged the star Seattle relied on. Shawn Kemp's list reveals more than the names of 5 great opponents. It shows the foundation of what shaped him during one of the most demanding eras in basketball. Each player on that list pushed him in a different way. Barkley tested his competitive fire. Malone challenged his preparation and discipline. Hakeem forced him to expand his understanding of skill and timing. Pippen reminded him that intelligence and defensive awareness can control the entire floor. And Payton sharpened his mentality every single day through confrontation, accountability, and relentless pressure. These 5 opponents helped form the core of Kemp's identity on the court. He learned that respect is earned in moments when the game demands honesty. It is earned when 2 players collide with full commitment and walk away knowing they made each other better. Kemp carried those lessons into every battle Seattle faced. He became a force not only because of his athletic gifts, but because of the standards these opponents set for him. The Golden Era produced stars with pride and purpose. Kemp was one of them. And the rivals he respected the most helped him reach the level that made his highlight plays matter on a deeper scale. The dunks were memorable, but the growth behind them told the real story. These 5 players shaped his rise. They shaped his mentality. They shaped the competitor fans still talk about today. Who would make your list of the most respected opponents from that era?